Hundreds of homes hide a secret past that could impact the health and well-being of your family. After a months-long investigation, the I-Team's PJ Randawa uncovered hundreds of former meth labs weren't clean and documented, despite a local law promising to do just that. And she says that means people are planning to buy these homes without even knowing.
That's right, Mike. And people have already purchased many of these homes as well. But the woman you're about to meet, she contacted us because she had a feeling something wasn't right with her dream home, the one she was about to buy. Just past Peppermint Lane, you'll find an architectural oddity.
We wanted something a little more unique.
Call it an acquired taste. But to Sydney, this house in Jefferson County,
It's a dome home, I guess you would call it, built in like the 80s.
looked like it could be home sweet home.
It was perfect. Definitely a cool first home.
It turns out the I-Team had been to this dome home before to break some bad news to the current homeowners. Did you know there was a meth lab here?
No, they didn't.
It was news to Sydney too. She had no idea the home she'd fallen in love with was once the site of a suspected meth lab. This is what police found and seized from the property in 2010.
It was just shocking.
Back in the late 90s and up until just a few years ago, Jefferson County was on the map for having some of the highest numbers of meth lab seizures in the country. Now, most of the labs may be gone, but the chemical contamination from those drug labs often remains in walls, floors, and air ducts. And experts say those chemicals can be dangerous to the health of anyone who tries to make those former labs a home. Sydney wasn't ready to give up on her dome home dream.
We decided that if we could find proof that it was cleaned out, decontaminated, and tested afterwards, then it was something that we would seriously consider.
She was elated to find there is a county ordinance that deals with former meth labs, passed back in 2010. Under the law, when police find a suspected meth lab, they have to test the walls of the property. If the test shows the presence of meth, code enforcement must condemn the home and keep people out until the homeowners pay for professional remediation. So Sydney wondered, did that happen at the dome home? Nobody had any record that the home had been cleaned up.
Nope.
Is that a problem?
It's not a problem.
We asked the head of Jefferson County Code Enforcement to explain why. There was an ordinance in place, so why wasn't the ordinance followed?
Well, I can't speak to what happened 9 years ago. What I can tell you is that report probably didn't make it to my office.
The I-Team crunched the numbers looking through years of county data. We found that for almost a full year, the county didn't follow its own ordinance. And even since then, hundreds of meth labs haven't been cleaned, haven't been documented, and may have gone on to be sold to unsuspecting families who had no idea about the chemicals they were living with. Do you see a lot of people moving into these homes now, homes where you once busted labs?
Oh yeah. Yeah, with the amount that we were chasing, our meth labs we were finding in the early 2010s, a lot of these homes are going up for sale or rent now.
Jefferson County Drug Task Force Commander Tony Dennis says he and his team were finding close to 300 meth labs a year during the height of the meth lab epidemic. And that may be why documentation is non-existent for some of these homes.
There is a chance that we just weren't ready for the procedure yet. Test kits weren't ordered. We didn't have the capabilities to follow the ordinance directly.
But if the county wasn't following the rules in place to keep people safe, isn't the county responsible for that?
Obviously, that's not a good thing. But ultimately, the people that are responsible are the people that were cooking meth on these properties.
It's not the answer first-time homebuyer Sydney wanted to hear.
Like, oh, okay, bummer. So what now?
Her dreams of owning a dome home are dashed. And if she ever falls in love with real estate again,
I would have a meth test done on the home, along with inspections.
Code enforcement staff tell us they're more than happy to go to that dome home and test for meth residue levels. We've also learned that since 2010, code enforcement has ordered cleanup for more than 101 homes in Jefferson County. That's roughly 10% of all the meth labs found in homes and buildings in that same 9-year span. Now, there is a list of all homes where labs have been found. You can find that list on our website at ksdk.com. Just look for this story.
Have something you want the I-Team to look into? You can email PJ directly at prandawa@ksdk.com or call 314-444-5231.